So it's awesome. It's not on the scumbag level that she didn't let me hit. It's on the scumbag level that I hit. Now I want to get the fuck away from you.
But after you've already hit, what else is there to do, my guy?
You can cuddle. Some bitches get to cuddle. They get to cuddle in the sleepover, and then I'm out in the morning.
You know how this nigga Chuck feel about cuddling with his bitch. That nigga laughs so
No, I did. Hold on, I don't know. How does Chuck feel about cuddling?
You don't hear his laugh?
I'm not letting Dre get away with that shit. Since he mentioned that shit,
Nigga said
he likes to cuddle.
I
nigga.
do like to cuddle.
Okay.
I ain't no friend. Why I got a friend?
I don't know shit about no fucking cuddling, nigga. Don't fucking touch
that
me.
sucks for you.
Ain't nothing wrong with a good cuddle, buddy.
That's unfortunate for you.
No. I don't
Ain't
like
nothing
cuddling.
wrong with a good old cuddle.
I don't like cuddling after that. Now we can cuddle on some
Pause. After what, nigga?
after sex.
After
nigga.
coitus.
Oh, okay. I was like, after
coitus?
that, nigga. What do you mean? Why we talking?
No,
in
I'm
code?
not talking about cuddling directly after doing your thing. I'm talking about when it's time to close my eyes, we gonna cuddle up next to each other.
No,
and
nigga,
go
that's
to bed.
disturbance, nigga.
Sometimes, nigga, I ain't
The
gonna lie,
fuck
bro.
you mean? We
Like,
gonna when
I'm
it's
not knocking it, but
the fuck you. That's disturbance.
it's happened
nigga.
before.
Fuck is you? What is
But-
what?
Dog, when it's time to-
Disturbance.
when
How
it's
is that
time-
disturbance?
When it's time to go to sleep,
I
get
need
the fuck off.
yes, nigga. I need to be by myself.
Sometimes when it's time to go to sleep,
I need to be by
sometimes, bro,
myself.
it's like get the fuck off me.
No, and I
Don't touch me.
get that, but nigga, sometimes a nigga want to cuddle till I go to sleep, and I'm not wrong for that.
Well, I'm good. Why you getting aggressive,
No,
man?
no, ain't nobody
was
say you
wrong.
wrong
Nah, I'm
for
getting
that. That's your
spicy
shit.
with that.
Yeah, nigga, stop
But
your
nah,
feelings.
fuck that. I don't want to be
Nigga
touched.
love to be on the defense, nigga.
Right.
Ain't nobody even attacking this
Nah,
nigga. Like,
see,
ain't
listen.
nothing wrong with it.
Even
Like,
though
nigga,
I was born next to the equator, I get hot easy. You know, so I don't want you fucking touching me and all
I
that
got great
crazy
air
shit.
conditioning and a fan.
Bruh, all that shit. Listen,
Fact,
bro,
like,
listen
I'm
to me.
not hot.
I'm
Like,
glad that you said that.
I'm
but
not hot
I'm
at
glad
night like
you
that.
said
And
but
I
the
run hot, too.
The funny shit is this: you can turn the fan on me on fucking full blast. Don't fucking touch me.
But here's the thing.
No.
Let me tell you about my situation.
why are
That's
you
your
so upset at
situation.
this?
Because it's a mental thing for me.
let
I see
me
that.
tell you my situation. My
Relax.
motherfucking air conditioning is right above
My
my
nigga ready to
bed
murk
with a
something.
fan over to the side.
Nigga,
So
Chuck, man,
if
like,
I want to
don't-
motherfucking cuddle, I'm a motherfucking cuddle. Cuddle.
Listen,
Cuddle.
we can be outside.
Hey, go ahead and let him say his shit, because I got something
We
for
can
him.
be outside in Antarctica or whatever the fuck. Okay,
Right.
don't fucking touch me.
You're silly.
Now peep this.
That's some of the nigga. If
No,
we're in
everything he said,
Antarctica,
hold on.
I need all that body heat.
Right, facts,
But
nigga. I will
bring
hug you,
that
nigga.
over here.
No. I'm just.
I'm gonna hug this nigga.
He gonna be mad, like nigga.
Chuck, I don't want to hear none of that
You
shit.
gonna hug him and say pause.
Hey, peep this. Facts. Hey, and peep
You gonna hug
this.
him and say, "How you
I'm
doing,
smoking.
nigga?"
Well, do something, man.
Yeah,
Do
man, make
something.
yourself useful, bro.
Who the
Right,
fuck?
man.
Hold
Like,
on.
get
First
on it.
of all,
Listen,
Hey,
you
I don't
hold
even-
on, bro.
No,
I'm
you
tired
hold
of
all
this,
that.
bro.
You hold all that, because you know
Tired
where
of
that shit
this,
coming
man.
from. I should have just lit him, because you know better. You already know what you did.
oh, I did hit.
Yeah, nigga.
I did King like that, a couple weeks
Yeah,
ago.
my nigga. I just looked at him like.
I had this nigga roll up, and then I grabbed the blunt because he was just sitting there.
Yeah,
nigga,
like,
and I
man,
lit
nigga,
that
no,
whole
No,
shit.
nigga. I rolled up.
Yeah,
And
y'all
you
was-
grab-
Was it your weed too?
Yes, nigga.
Yeah, I did you extra.
Of course
dirty,
you
then. That
did.
was straight
You
scumbag
like, nigga, that's
shit.
why I looked at you like, nigga, damn, that's how you feel?
That's
I'm
some
like,
straight scumbag
well, go ahead.
shit.
My
He
nigga.
did say that too.
not to change subject, but you know when niggas was growing up, did y'all ever do that shit where you wouldn't let a nigga roll your weed because it's your weed?
Yeah, when you younger, nigga.
Yeah, that shit used to be.
Well, cause you couldn't trust a lot of niggas not to pinch your sack off, nigga, as they're trying to roll your blunt.
Well, this nigga was with the wolf pack, nigga. You know, this nigga
No,
was with all the rapper niggas. He was
Hey,
trying
you
to-
want to know what's crazy? You want to know the reason why niggas
Ooh,
wouldn't
rapper
let
niggas
me?
on a tour bus are the most stingiest, nigga. You ain't
Nah.
touching none of their weed.
Nah,
Bro,
see,
they'll
that's
smoke
traveling.
with
That's
you,
traveling
but
with
nigga,
any group of
please.
men. Tour bus, team, nigga, any of that shit. Cause you right, tour life. Fuck it.
you want to know the reason why niggas wouldn't let me roll their weed? Because I put all your shit in the rap, nigga. Niggas be, nah,
so
don't
this
get that.
This nigga go roll all the weed.
Listen,
Unnecessarily.
listen.
Unnecessarily.
No, it's
don't
not
even
my
need to
fault.
smoke
It's
all
not
the
my
weed.
fault. It's not my fault, bro. It's not my fault. it's just I never learned out of the road that skinny shit niggas be rolling.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
All right.
He
All
said
right?
he said I smoke
Listen,
big
No,
blunts.
because you know when niggas
from
first
when I
start
smoke
rolling,
blunts.
nigga, like it is easier to roll like a fat blunt.
You
than
know,
it is a skinny blunt.
and that's not even what it is with me. It's just in the streets, niggas call me baseball bat. You know what I'm saying? I have to live up to that fucking reputation. You know, fuck
Little
rolling.
nigga.
Hey, nigga, hold on.
Excuse my
Matter
motherfucking
of fact,
son,
they can't even,
America.
especially since this nigga. Oh yeah, that's what that was, huh?
Yeah, that's why I said little nigga. I was talking to him. Right by it like that happened.
You good, Jaden? Do
Little
your thing,
nigga.
man.
If y'all don't
Hey,
stop calling him Jaden Smith,
I didn't say that.
Jalen,
Rose.
I'm sorry, Jalen. I'm sorry, Jalen. Yeah,
Shout out.
you know,
His
do
middle
your
name
thing,
ain't
man.
Anthony.
His middle name is Maxwell.
I ain't
Okay.
nigga. You ain't not after the singer.
Sure did.
Okay.
Which one, nigga?
Nigga.
Long nigga, big fro nigga, or low top?
Big fro, you out
I'm
your
just checking.
mind.
Oh,
I'm trying
you
to tell you.
better.
Urban swing
I'm just
suit.
You
checking.
bet. You better, big fro.
Urban
I'm just
You know
checking,
what I'm
just
saying?
checking temperature with my man. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
please.
Didn't I realize?
We ain't need that. We
Yeah.
don't need that though right now.
I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. Fuck
Make
you.
you feel that shit, boy.
That nigga said we don't need that right now.
Cause after I said that, I heard that shit, nigga, in my head. Hey man, wait till we get on the. Wait till we start being able. Wait till we get this music
Hey,
license.
that nigga is the shit, man.
Shout
I
out to
fuck with
Maxwell.
him,
Wait
you
till we
know.
get this music license though. Start coming in on the top on you niggas. We might just say fucking and get sued. You know anything? We're down to do that for the people.
I don't know if I got that type of money yet though.
That's the best time to get sued, my guy.
Is it?
When you ain't got shit.
They gonna nigga, and they gonna be like, cool. We own your. We
Hey,
own.
you know
always
the,
talking
you know
shit
the
now.
nigga that soon you gonna
Never.
be mad as shit when they find out you ain't got nothing but
Never,
that
bro.
Apple laptop for them. Hey
Right.
man, here bro.
Niggas
My
got
bad. Here
niggas
you
cell
go.
phones, laptops, and some
There
weed
go.
for you.
Shit, hey, I got this iPhone 11 too. You can have that too, bro. All right, my
Man,
bad.
nigga, you can have Dre's camera.
All right, yeah,
Okay.
man.
Call it in.
Fuck
Pause.
shit.
No, the fuck you cannot. Somewhere we gotta keep getting money at this
You
shit.
can
They're
have
not
Dre's
taking that.
Hey, you can have Dre's keyboard. You see that button right there? It says always talking shit.
Yeah,
so.
he can have that. That ain't
Nah,
even
nigga.
mine. That's his.
Definitely can't have the keyboard. my
That's
nigga.
his.
Why? Hey, Dre, why you think I said that shit?
That's the only thing. That's the only thing on this table, other than the table itself, that I don't own.
Okay, I want to address a serious subject.
Damn, I was just having fun.
I think my bad. I think
It's all
I
good. I'm just
addressed.
talking
I think
shit.
I addressed this with Akim before, and it's based on a couple of things that I've read. You know, a couple of videos that I've watched, and it's about the word black. You know, from what I read and you know some things that I've watched, the suggestion is that we need to get away from the word black because you know the word black in the English language,
Absence of light.
it outside of that just represents bad. You know, the word black in the English language doesn't represent good. You know, when you think about it, black cat, black male, so on and so forth. So the suggestion is that Africans in America, need to. Okay, so another suggestion is that the word black actually prevents us from actually learning who we are as far as African roots is concerned. Part of the suggestion from some of the things that I watched was that, uh, there's, it says that Africans in America are the only race that are not represented geographically, that are represented racially rather than geographically. So meaning, and then it also says that, for example, that sometimes maybe not actual racism is not what's going on with a particular cop. That maybe it's the the English word, like I said, when it comes to the word black, does not represent anything good. So when a cop see somebody that says, that is so-called black or think of themselves as black, that automatically gives them the sense that they're approaching something bad. You know what I'm saying? Or they're approaching somebody that doesn't, if I want to use, the Constitution or half of a human being or whatever.
I have a question.
That's absolute
I have a question.
bullshit.
That's
bullshit. In my
I don't agree with that too much either. But I have a question to
complete
that
bullshit.
theory. I have a question to that theory. Why doesn't that
No,
apply?
it's not saying racism.
No, I'm saying,
doesn't
hold on.
it?
Stop. Let me ask you this though.
No, I'm
Why doesn't that apply to homosexuality?
What do you mean? In what aspect?
In the aspect of, nigga, like, okay,
homosexuality in the Bible is supposed to be one of the worst things there is.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm not gonna.
If black is supposed to represent the same thing,
hold on.
No.
I'm not gonna back it.
I didn't say nothing about the Bible. I said in the English
Let me
language.
ask my question. Bro.
but
Let me ask my question. I'm just asking. Take the same concept of what you just said about the negative connotation of the word black.
Excuse me.
We know there's negative connotations about homosexuality and the term homosexual, right? You don't cure those negative connotations by eradicating the word, the language that identifies with those people. Black isn't what you make it. Are you proud to be black? If you're a black African in America that has no lineage directly to Africa, and you don't know your specific ethnicity, right? Black is not a negative connotation. Like, but in the masses, yes, they have tried to affiliate things with black and blackness as negative.
Now, not to cut you off, the research, some of the research that I did on that does say that, that research is not shitting on black people who identify themselves as black. That research also states that it understands that being black or black people identifying themselves as black is their way of of having an identity for
You're
themselves.
talking about tribal people that will naturally tribe themselves, like will naturally form tribes. We're tribal people. You could take Africans and put them anywhere, they're gonna be tribal, and it's always gonna like circumvent back to that. So my thing is, we're talking about perception, and I think that's too many of us allow the negative perceptions of us to have so much power. When who has more power over the English, or who has the ability to manipulate the English language more than African Americans? Nobody. So therefore, we decide what words we want to identify with. We decide the meanings of them. We've already proven that. We've taken words off the street and got them instituted in Webster's dictionary. And they have a meaning. And it wasn't a group of scholars that created the meaning. The streets did that. The culture did that. So my only argument I would be to someone, to those people that came to these findings, is who did you ask? And what's your answer to this? Because if you can't take every so-called African American back to Africa and identify them with their original tribe and language, what is the end game?
But again, another thing, another reason why I kind of, I'm interested in what they're talking about is it also states that, black people identifying themselves as black, also doesn't give them any representation.
In which way?
As
When you
supposed
do
to,
the census, you can identify as a black.
no. I understand that, but it's what I think it's saying is that as opposed to uh, Asian people identify as, Chinese people identify as Chinese people, and they have representation. China backs them. Who backs black people?
So give
You
us a
know,
name. Give us a unique African name. Identify us to a unique African
no,
tribe.
no, no. So it also speaks to the fact that so there's got to be some empowerment in Africa, so that black people can have representation.
But I think those are two different things. Like identifying as black people and not having representation due to the transatlantic slave trade are two totally different things, in my opinion. One is they've cut off the representation and they've done away with the knowledge of said thing. So you're stuck over here without any direct knowledge or any help from the people that stole you as to where they stole you from. You can call your motherfucking self purple. You can call yourself Africans. Then the question will be like, well, where in Africa are you from? What I say is this: if we identify as black and brown people, I think that's more powerful than identifying than any ethnic group because they can change that. Like nigga, I don't put too. I'm talking about like we say Africa for lack of a better word because Africa's named after a fucking European. Black people in Africa wasn't calling themselves African. Africitus discovered Africa. He gets credit for being the first European white person to go over in Africa. And so all other Europeans and all other white people, they refer to Africa at, in honor of that. And we have to adapt that. So if we're talking about true liberation, it goes deeper than just identifying with what the color of your skin may be. But there's more black people on earth than they are Africans. Because they've stole some people out of Africa and taken Africa out of their heart and minds. They don't identify as Africans. They don't care for Africa. They might say, I'm Jamaican, I'm Haitian, I'm this. But at the end of the day, before you were any of those things, you were African. So I get the concept behind the message in that, but I just think that it's like I don't think that I don't think that black is the issue. I think that we don't have any backing because black Americans haven't really directly went to Africa and created any backing. We'll go to Europe and get a fucking distribution deal. We'll go to China and get a distribution deal. We haven't been freed in our minds to think, you know what? Let me go over to Ghana. Let me go over to the Senegal. Let me go over to Nigeria and get some business going with my brethren. People that look like me. People that come from what I come from. Maybe I might get a fair shake. But what you're talking about is the mindset of a liberated person. A person that doesn't look at themselves and see any inferiority. And if you are a black American living this experience your whole entire life, it is hard to consistently be able to look at yourself and not see any inferiority. Because every time you go to the bank to cash your check, you're not doing it at a black bank. Most of the time when you go to a grocery store, depending on where you live, you're not doing it. You're not shopping at a black grocery store.
I don't know if I've ever been to a black grocery store.
You know what I'm saying?
To be honest,
I have.
In 33 years, I don't know.
I have, but
if
the
I've
thing is
ever.
like, there's also an attack on that too, Dre. Like if you go to Detroit, you go back to Brooklyn, you go to Chicago, Iowa areas, you see all these black-owned mom and pop businesses, but like corporate America is not their friend.
No.
And then you get out to the
straight out.
You get out to where we are out here in Vegas, where everything is pretty much corporate. Like every little restaurant or shit that opens up is a chain. There's not that many mom and pop places here, and the ones that are, God help them.
Shout out to the little man.
Yeah.
Shout out to the little man out there.
Right.
You know
Shout
what
out to
I'm saying?
the mom and pops. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
It's like they did with the record game.
Right.
Remember back when we was younger, you can go to all the little record stores and shit, and they was like locally owned stores. They got all the music, so it wasn't like there was a downside.
There's only what? Rasputin's in Cali, and then there's a one in
that whole
New
industry
York,
got attacked. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't none of that shit out there no more.
You don't even hear about artists going to record stores like that no more.
You might have seen an artist in the record store signing copies of the
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Album
you don't
releases.
even
You don't
see
see
that
none
shit
of that
no more.
shit.
You
That
don't
shit
even hear
don't
about
happen.
that. Because it's like
Meet
it's
and
not
greets
like,
are all at shows and shit now.
and that's the thing. Like, fam, there's no reason to have a DSP store.
Yeah,
So there's no
that's-
reason to like create that like that audience entertainer connection.
And you
You
know
know
what's
what
the
I'm saying?
crazy thing about it is in like 30 years, those are gonna be the nostalgia stores and shit. Somebody's gonna open the store with all
Right.
their records and
Right.
all their CDs and the fucking
Somebody gonna
Discmans
Airbnb one of
and
them
all that.
motherfuckers.
Right, this is
Just
gonna
to,
be all that. It's gonna be that's what it
just
is.
to make a
Might be us.
clarification,
Hey,
my
shit, edit point.
just to
Right.
make a clarification,
Watch, now there's gonna be one there like in the next like 6 months.
Some rich nigga just
to make
vulture
a
an
cl-
idea.
to make
That's
a
all right. You know
clarif-
what?
to
Just
make a
shout us out. That's all we
clarification,
need. Or no,
my,
sponsor us.
my research just does take note on all the work that's been done, towards Africans in America not to, know their culture,
Right.
how they were stripped of everything that they knew about being an African. You know what I'm saying? He does not, he's not blind, to that particular, segment
Right.
of what happened in culture.
Yeah.
In culture.
I guess
So,
my only thing is that I think that it's duality in that, and I think we must remind ourselves of that. A lot of Africans was stolen and sold into slavery, but a lot of Africans also were affected by colonialism. So there's parts in Africa that weren't affected by colonialism, but there's mass parts of Africa that were affected. So you can look at someone in colonial stricken South Africa, where there are white South Africans now, and say that their experience of being a South African is nothing like the South Africans that walked that land hundreds of years before thousands of years before white people came over and colonized it. Hundreds of years, however many. I think it'd be more so like hundreds of years. But it's a duality in that. Like, it's not like there were ships sent over from Africa to rescue Africans that were stuck here, because it wasn't like they were over there living the greatest life free of fucking a European dictatorship, our enemy as well. So I just think that like the education has to come from all sides. Africa's changed a lot since black people were stolen from Africa. Geographically, shit, you can argue that some of the nations that had people stolen from don't even exist no more. So it's just to see it from one, just to display it as just like, oh yeah, Africans in America, by identifying as black, like I can see the
You
theory
can see where
behind
they're coming from, what they're.
but I just think that it needs to dig a little deeper, and maybe a little bit more broader to reach the whole scope of the story. Because what do you do about the islanders that all came from Africa, but are generations removed? Like they're Haitian, they're Jamaican, they're, you know what I'm saying, and they have their own cultures and their own histories and stuff like that.
one particular thing that I can say about the research is how it says that that continuing to identify ourselves as blacks hinders us.
But what was his response to that? Like, so what I'm saying is, I get that.
From learning who we are.
I can follow that. I can follow that.
You know.
What would be their, what is their offered solution? Okay, so hey, black man, don't call yourself black man no more. Even though you've created over 100 years of pride and courage and dignity in that, strip yourself of that. Because they weren't calling us black men when we got off these boats. They was calling us niggers, jigaboos, monkeys, and coons. Like, the Black Power Revolution in America came from black people. That wasn't generic. It wasn't with white sponsorships. That was the Malcolm X's of the world telling people like, hey, we're just as good as them, if not better. That's the Muhammad Ali's saying, I'm beautiful.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everywhere I go, people are mesmerized by how handsome I am. Don't tell me I'm ugly because I'm black.
Ain't no way.
I get basically
I get
you said
pussy.
in 2020 terms, nigga, I get bitches. Like, you know what I'm saying?
With no problems.
So I get all that. What I'm saying is that because look, even if you study colonialism, white people had to somewhat before they can terrorize had to ingratiate themselves to Africans in Africa. So it didn't start off a negative relationship from jump. They wasn't able to just come right off their ships and try to take over shit. They was gonna get sent back fucked up. The ingratiation. It's the same thing when you study like natives and Europeans over here in the Americas. Like it's this ingratiation period. So I'm just saying, like, how many European customs right now run through Africa? Right? And then how many, you got all of us here that we could be as pro-black as we want to here in America. We live somewhat of a European-based culture.
No doubt.
And within the confines of that,
Or
our genetic coding.
Britain-based.
I heard Malcolm talk about I heard Malcolm talk about this. Our genetic coding, bro. I was watching some shit with my ex-girlfriend, and two things, and I'll be quick about this. They found a pick, just like a pick that you would use for your beard or your fro or some shit like that, and the shit was like 300 BC. They found it in Africa, right? It looks exactly the same as the pick that you will go buy from a fucking Sally's Beauty Supply or some kind of hair supply store. All right. And then the other thing that they were showing, like 250 BC, nigga, like black females in certain tribes was dying. Like if you had a certain animal, you would take some of their hide and dye it when they passed and braid it into your braid. And so like when you see how like who decided that women that use extensions are ratchet or ghetto, right? Because there's a lot of women that do that never will be identified as ghetto and ratchet.
Not at all.
So to me it's the play on words, and then it's the perception and how much power we give those words. Because you're right, there's some people that when they hear the word black, even as black people, they kind of cringe and feel inferior. But then there's other people, depending on where they from and where they grew up, when they hear black, it strengthens them.
Cause me, I'm a proud black man in here.
Talk about it, King.
All day.
I think we all are. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
but I feel. Go ahead, my bad. I don't want to talk over you.
It's fucking. That's what's been instilled in me is being a proud black man, not a proud African American man. Nothing wrong with calling yourself that. Not anything else. A proud black man, and I don't see anything wrong in that
because it's tangible.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And if that's enough to scare you and make you uneasy because I am a black man or because you see a black woman or a black child, black boy, black girl, then you just have issues that you need to work out your goddamn self. That's a fucking cop out. And that's probably one of the worst cop outs I've probably ever heard.
And you know what I think that some of this is coming from? There's this thing called like the black doll test. And then there's another test.
I know what the
right?
black
And
doll
then there's
test
another
is.
test that they did that's a little more mature, where it's like they test your fears and anxieties. And the thing that's funny is it's not just white people or non-black people. Black people have been from a certain life and lifestyle have been programmed to fear a certain looking or a certain age group of black people. And it just goes to show you how powerful propaganda is. You know what I mean? Propaganda will have people turning their backs on things that are tangible, people that they see, love, hug, touch, can feel, for a God that they hope and pray is there. And I'm not being religious or anti-spiritual. I believe in a higher power. But what I'm saying is being more realistic with ourselves as humans. And, we'll use religion to do away with our children.
Religion's another cop out that a lot of
mean?
people use in so many situations, and I can't stand that
Right.
shit because I don't believe in any form of organized religion. And if I sided with anything, it'd probably be more with Muslim and Islamic belief. And not to say that any more is right than any other one. I believe in the motherfucking universe. That's my higher power. I don't believe in this one person
Right.
and it just does and handles all this shit. Because there's shit that's happened in my personal life that I'm like, or even around the world. It's like if there's one person who has the power to create and take away, right? That is what he should have, correct? That's what the Bible says. He created the shit, power to give it, to take away, Alpha and Omega, correct? So why does so much bad shit happen? That's why I believe in the universe. Universe is fair. It takes no prisoners, pulls no punches. Period. If your time is your time, you're gone.
Well, what if the true meaning of God is that? I think that like what religion has done religion has hijacked spirituality. And I think that you come in this world alone, you figure certain things out alone. That's between you and your maker, whomever you feel that to be. You watch an infant child, you can coddle them as much as you want to. They have to get those words out. They have to put it together that I'm going to walk. They have to put it together. And that's a very lonely space. And if you talk to any adult that loses their ability to speak and walk and have to regain those tools, they'll tell you it's the hardest thing they've ever done. So to me, I feel like within that space, there's something that nobody can speak to. And some shit ain't supposed to be. We don't have the language to speak some things. You know what I mean? And so I'm always weary of things that are packed with literature about something that's so
Sacred.
exactly
So sacred
and that nobody on this side of life can answer.
And the other thing is like if there was so much magical shit that's happened in this book, and the fact that we can't do it now, then why do we know about it? Because there's aliens out there. Most of us know that, but they want us so bad not to know about that. They're not, but we could know about all the magical, mythical, lorical shit in a fucking Bible though. That's not really tangible because we've never seen it in our own presence. We're just going off story off story off story off story from supposedly thousands and thousands of hundreds of thousands of years ago.
This is a real problem I have with I'll read it because I think that knowing and it's just for context. But look, I'll say this. Things in this world that we live in, that we get our hands on, that are pushed down our throat, pause, in terms of like, they want us to like be molded by these things, these concepts. They're very seldomly like honest and earnest. Like they're always made to think to sway towards a certain sector of society, to benefit a certain sector of society. If I could make all of you motherfuckers docile